Hi guys, this is Maria and Manos, and you're watching On the Couch with M&M.
The show to help you build fun and profitable businesses.
Hi guys, and welcome back. We're very excited to have Rick Rushton on the couch again. Really, we haven't moved from the previous interview, but we decided to do a couple of topics today with Rick because we value him so much and we know he's got so much gold to give you guys. And the second interview is going to be about the changing market. And what are we doing about it? Are we talking the market up? Are we talking the market down? And all those things. I'm going to stop talking so you can start. Welcome back.
Thank you. How this sort of started was Manos and I had a chat over the phone about, does the market soften or do we soften in the market? And I think there's a combination of that.
I think that needs to be repeated. That was so good.
Does the market soften or do we soften in the market? So what I mean by that is the last 2 years, we've been a little bit like maitre d's at restaurants, taking names and numbers that open for inspection, saying,
it's been so good.
You can have anything you want on this menu so long as it's auction. Come back in 21 days' time, put your hand up, and if you've got it up, and we think we're real estate agents.
Yeah.
We think we're negotiators. We're really maitre d's. We're just taking names, numbers, and orders. So we haven't really catalysts, and we haven't been catalysts to the sale. We've been facilitators.
Yeah.
This market's now asking us, are we good enough right now to get a little bit better? So it starts with the 6 inches between the right ear and the left ear. Mm-hmm. And if we listen to the media and if we listen to, all of, the media outlets we tune into as real estate agents, they're all saying the market's come back, volume's down, people staying put, everyone's uncertain about what the next sort of year or two is going to look like with the interest rate. All of that information makes us straight away think, well, maybe that's right, so we soften. Yeah. But this is a great market. Some of the best real estate agents I know, 28 years into my career, set themselves up in markets like this. This is the chance to really separate yourself from the average players. Because when the market's booming, it's almost like anyone who's got a license and can get an authority will get a sale. The market just follows and takes that listing. This is the other way around now. How do we actually become a valuable commodity to a consumer who realises, here's the good news, the market is indicating to vendors they better get the right agent now.
Yes.
So that helps us. It's not a case of interview 3 and pick the one you like. It's look for those who have the ability to pilot this ship through very choppy waters. Yeah. Who haven't done it before. They're probably unlikely to go use it. Tell me, when was the last time you went through a market like this? I've only been in real estate 2 years. So what they're saying is we've only known harvest time. We didn't know what it was like to find a field, plough it, plant a seed, tender it, take time around it, get it through to a chance to be, a crop. Mm. So we've got to be aware of what that looks like. So the 3 things as leaders I would strongly recommend that we do at the moment is, number 1, I used to get my guys every Monday morning, so like today, before they sat at their desk, they had to send to me a quick questionnaire. If 10 was really good, 0 is no good, where's your energy today? If they couldn't tick 7 or above, I wanted to have a meeting with them. Do you have your day planned out and your week planned out today? 10 being, I can come and look at your diary right now, I'm going to see it full of appointments, or 0, you've got blank space. If they couldn't get 6 out of 10, I'd have a meeting with them straight away. So they would give me, the KPI I was looking for wasn't how many calls they were going to make and how many things. I wanted to know where they were at with their headspace, because if their headspace wasn't right, nothing flew after that.
So it's those 2 things. So it's energy.
So where's your energy? 10, awesome. And if they said to me, look, I'm 5 or less because I've had a real hectic, hectic weekend. My youngest child's not well. I want to know all those things so that I could maybe cover for them. Do you want me to go do your first appointment, give you a chance to get your child off to school? That sort of stuff is what a leader, I think, in this current market needs to be, a servant leader. Someone who's, it's not about me getting the next auction listing or me getting the next sort of great sale. And so when I started my own business, what was that now, 21 years ago, I was the best at everything. I was the best lister, the best salesperson. By the end, I made myself totally redundant. Yeah. And that's really what our job should be as leaders if we're doing it right. So I'd ask them to check in with 3 things, really. What's their energy like? Mm-hmm. Is their day planned? If they don't have the day planned, and so every Monday, they'd have to give me, do they have their week plan, which is, so know your plan, work your plan. If you don't have a plan, well, nothing's going to happen.
You're being reactive rather than proactive.
Yeah, and the third thing was, do you have your high 5 in place? So high 5 was, who's the first 5 people I'm going to connect with during this day, because for me it was, if you had 5 people to connect with during the day, even on a 5-day week, that's 25 people, that's 100 a month, that's 1,000 people in the year. Your career has to go north if you're connecting with 1,000 people every year. Now that was a high number back then, it seemed, but the best operators now, they're doing 20.
Oh, you have
They're doing 20 a day, 5 days a week, that's 100 a week, that's 400 they're only working 10 months in the year. None of them are in Australia at the moment. They're all in the Northern Hemisphere. They're at Bali. They're at a beach somewhere. They're in Hawaii.
They're in Europe, yeah.
Because they've gone 20, 100.
Yeah.
Right? So think about that for a minute. 400, 4,000. And if only 40 of that leads to a transaction, they're probably above average, aren't they?
Now.
But the number they're working on is more like 80. And they're going to list and sell 75% of that. If you do those numbers, I mean, it's not that hard to have a real successful career. So I think in this market, knowing that it is softening, we've got to harden up and we've got to get a little bit stronger. So we've got to get up a little bit earlier, stay a little bit later, make a few extra phone calls. You know, if my target was 20 calls, I go for 22. I'm just looking for that little bit more, and just keep looking for the few little things that are going to make the biggest difference in this sort of market. So what I knew was vendors would be uncertain because they're still hanging on to 2017 pricing, and they probably need it to make the move, but they've heard the market's not right, so they're thinking, who's the person who looks like they've got certainty in this market? How do you do that nowadays? Very easy digitally. Video, right? Get it out there. I'd want to make sure my postcode had me as someone who's really active in that market, so that you could be really up and about and seem like you're doing transactions. If you seem like you're doing transactions, everyone wants to deal with the person who's kind of making it happen. Like I just walked through your shopping centre nearby here. There was 3 cafes. 2 you could just walk up and order whatever you like. 1 had a queue. I'm thinking that's the cafe I want to be in.
Yeah.
I don't even know why, but I want to be there because it seems to be something's going on. I think if we take that out to a real estate space, that happens as well.
Yeah.
So, there's some dialogue you could use with your prospecting now. I'd be ringing people hardening up. Hey, Manos, Rick Rushton here, Eview Real Estate. This is a business call, so I'll be very brief. Of all of my connections in my database, 50 sell every year. Are you one of those 50 in 2018?
I love it.
How hard would that be to do?
It's a very simple phone call.
How hard would that be to do? Easy to do, isn't it? As my mentor, the late, great Jim Rohn would say, easy not to do, so you probably don't do it because you're probably thinking, they're not going to sell because the market's not great. How's the market going, says Manos back to Rick. Well, it's a very opportunistic market. Great opportunities for those buyers that are buying and sellers that are selling. What are you looking to do? Are you looking to buy, sell, rent, or invest? No, we're looking to double down and try and get some investment properties while the market's there. Never been a better time to expand your investment portfolio than this market right now. So there's lots of dialogues you could use around it. The dialogues won't work if you don't. No plan will work if you don't work the plan. So my message to everybody watching this right now, whether you're a leader or a real estate operator, is get up, have a headspace of what a great opportunity today is. Yes. Where's the opportunity today for me to move someone to a better place? That's all we've got to do. We've just got to move someone to a better place. Upscaling, downscaling, getting out of a mortgage, getting into a mortgage, stop paying the landlord's mortgage, let's pay our own off, let's get going. Like there's great opportunities out there if you're looking for them. And funny, I find great opportunities seem to follow people with great opportunistic mindsets. Challenges seem to find every agent who's finding all the challenges at the moment. 100%. And if you wake up every day thinking, this is a Monday, it's going to be tough, I had opens where no one come through, I'm going to have to talk to the owner about that, what a shitty day today is going to be, well, guess what?
It's going to happen like that. Exactly how you thought it out.
And a lot of...
Go on.
No.
I was just going to say, if you get up on Monday and then you're trying to work out what you're going to do for your day, it's all over anyway. So planning the night before, I mean, we'll plan on the weekend.
Rule.
It's my golden rule, but on the weekend we plan our week. And then every night I plan my next day. Like if you wake up if you wait for the morning to wake up and do it, it's all over.
Yeah, you're already behind it. Well, to me, you're running the 100-metre race from the 120 back market. Where for me, I'm the same. Gabe cracks up because I'll have my laptop open every Sunday night and I'll go, these are my really exciting things I'm going to be doing this week. There's a few hard ones there. There's a few Brussels sprouts. I'm going to have to eat them. That's okay. I'm ready to do that. But if you can just get your headspace around what the opportunities are, if anything happens, your mind goes looking for it, which we'll talk about in another interview. But I think you've just got to pre-frame yourself to be aware of what today's all about. It's a great opportunity. 100%. This is a great market. I can guarantee now, if you work hard for the next 6 to 12 months, you set up your next decade in this business. Because this is the time we can put some distance between the average players and the best operators. Come up with some great dialogue. That's one part of it. have some people to speak to. That's the more important part of it. So today I'm just thinking, who's the high five that I've got to speak to, or what's the top 20 I'm going to be doing? And if you've got that mindset, and I won't go home until I get that done. You know, one of my mentors, again, Bob Wolf, a great real estate operator, probably one of the best in the world. 21 years ago, I met him. He said, take 5 business cards, find 5 people to give those cards to before you go home.
I remember you saying this before.
And if you don't find 5, you don't go home.
Don't go home.
You might want to take a toothbrush to the office. Like, I went, pretty amazing how that just having that focus.
Yeah.
And you think, well, that's not going to change my Monday. But you take that out 3 Mondays in a row, I'll tell you what, by the 4th Monday, it's had a massive impact. Yeah. You take that out by the 4th year you've been doing that, and you look back and you go, that was my career. This is now my career. Yeah. That was a job. This is a lifestyle. I love my lifestyle. Yeah. I love this industry. I love connecting with people. Not, it's a softening market. Things are going to come back. Might have to think about maybe not putting on a PA now. This is not the right time to grow. We better go into the bunker. We better bunker down. We better bring the sales down because there's a storm coming. No, we run up the biggest spinnaker we bloody can, and we hang on for dear life, and we steer it straight into the storm, because if you steer straight in there, guess what? You get through the other side and there's calm waters. Yeah. But I found it's all about easy and hard. Easy choices, hard life. Easy choice. Oh, the market's not going great, so now I have to present my business plan to Manos, the new financial year. 2018 is not going to be as good as 2017. So I'm going to just look at those numbers, factor it back for where the market's going, liquid paper out those numbers and hand them out. There's my business plan. No, we say make a harder choice and have an easier life. Easy choices, hard life. That's perfect. Make a hard choice, you'll end up with an easy life. Easy choice, eat the donut. Hard choice, get up and go to the gym. What are you going to do? Yeah. Easy choice, skip through a few calls and get voicemail and say tick box. Harder choice, go and knock on a few doors. Yes. Now, what's going to lead to the end result you want? Easy or hard? I don't know. I just teach our kids, if you make some hard choices, you're going to end up with an easy life. Show me anyone who's making easy choices at the moment, I'll show you someone who's got a real hard life. So you've got to have that easy, hard. It's a bit like, do, don't do. It's all about, first you make your choices make you. These are all words.
I love the way you said it, because that's perfect. It's actually perfect. Yeah.
And there's always those people sometimes that they get into this tough market, and then they start having those seeds of doubt about themselves and their ability to come through this sort of market. And they're sort of like half in, half out. So am I going to continue on as in career in real estate, or am I going to get out? What would you say to those people?
Well, if you're having that doubt, you're already out anyway. Yes, so my view would be, don't wait for anyone else, just sack yourself, get seek.com.au and go do something else. Yeah. But if you're really in, go in all the way. I mean, just go hard. My view would be go hard for the next 6 to 12 months. Just go hard and then make a decision. If you've really given it everything you got 6 to 12 months from now, there's no decision to make. The decision's made for you. You're probably in the top 5% of real estate operators. So,
and that's the reality, is they haven't gone all in. Yeah. They haven't had their first year of real estate to say, I've gone all in.
What does that look like? Because some people say, but I work so hard and it's not happening for me. Well, so what does go hard look like? Like, what does it look like to actually give it 100% and, for the next 6 to 12 months?
Well, when they say when they say they're gone hard, I wanted to speak to more people, but they didn't answer their phones. I wanted to go do more market appraisals, but I couldn't get the appointments. They're stating preferences. I would have liked to have done better. I've got a wife. I've got 3 kids. I've got to give them a much better life. So I'm making a statement now. I'm not stating a preference. I'm making a commitment. Yes. I will do this or else. I'll do this until. No one ever climbed Everest by going, I might go for a walk and see how I go. We're plotting it out, aren't we? Yeah. Where's base camp? And here's the challenge. We see the mountain, we go, oh, that's just too big to climb. It's not the mountain, it's the pebble in our shoe. We can't take the first step. The first step is to say, we've woken up in Australia, for goodness sake. Yes. Australia. Oh. Yeah. They're not building rafts, as best I can understand it. They're not building leaky boats and rafts to get to countries like Bosnia, or everyone's trying to get here. Where why are we getting refugees coming at a great rate? Because they're saying, give us a chance. In that environment, we'll knock it out of the ballpark. Yeah. So we have to say to ourselves, stop preferencing, start committing. Very simple, 5 and 20, 2 numbers. Who's the 5 people I'm going to be face to face with today? If I can connect that, if I make the 20 connections that give me the chance to drop that down to 5, if I could do 100 or if I could do 25, doesn't matter. Either of those numbers will flow through. You're going to end up at the end of the year with 40 transactions on the very average
that
side.
makes a difference.
Going hard.
Going hard.
5
So it's
connections.
know your numbers and don't go home until you do them every day.
That's right.
Know your numbers, do your numbers. My view is know your role in the organisation, do your role.
Yeah.
And if you know your role, do your role, and you can verify it. But the KPI that I think is fundamentally important is to give me, how's your energy? Mm-hmm. You know, if you're not knocking at 7 or if the needle isn't shifting beyond 5, we need to have a chat.
Yeah,
that's right.
So show me your diary. If you're not got 5 in there, you're not nudging to the right side of the needle, right? So these things are important. So I think owners at the moment, business leaders at the moment, have to create the environment where people are cared for and belong, right? And we value those things, and we give them a chance to measure that as best we possibly can. And then once we've got that, we're away, I think.
Awesome.
Amazing, Rick.
Absolutely invaluable, Rick.
Thank you.
And we look forward to having you again back next week. And we're going to be talking about a really great topic of something I've been really, really keen on all day. And that's visualization and the skill set required for that. So thank you for joining us this week again, guys. And we will have Rick back next week on visualization.
We're just going to stay here and do another interview.
That's it. We can be here all day.
See you guys.
Thank you.